here in my greenhouse up in northern Michigan. We are taking advantage of the first day, real first day of sunshine in almost a month. It's just been fantastic. So I'm out here in greenhouse, just enjoying the warmth, getting some sunshine out here. Following up on yesterday where we did some work with the avalanche roof rake system and basically got the snow. We had almost 3 inches. We had almost 3 feet of snow over the course of the, so far this year since mid-November. Oh, just got this down here. Anyways, so yeah, catching up on that. I had a great stream with everybody yesterday. We're here today. We got a few things we got to work on. I got some lights we're gonna be checking out in real time, and then I'm gonna be placing a couple lights out just to have them here to help out. Because while yes, we have today sunshine, and tomorrow we're gonna have sunshine. Look at this. Oh, it's so great. Just I'm so happy right now. While we had sunshine today, we'll have some tomorrow. We're gonna get right back into cold and really, honestly, just some crap weather coming up here. So really want to try to take advantage. That's why I got the time today. Again, for those who don't know, my name is Ryan. I come here from the greenhouse, out in my garden, doing yard stuff all the time. So hopefully I earn your subscription today. And yeah, let's get after it here. So, again, for folks who knows, yeah, last week I was in New Orleans. It was my anniversary, 27 years. Still wrap my head around that. 27 years, convince someone to stay with me that long. It's pretty wild. So yeah, and it was 80 degrees down there, and it was 8 degrees up here. So kind of getting back at it here, and this is usually the time where I start doing my prep anyways, which is nice. We usually, normally we don't have this much snow to start. So for us to be at, already 3 feet of snow by this time this year, that's not favorable for the rest of our season. But I've got some lights I've got to put up. I'll walk you guys through what we have to do. But before we get to lights, I got to do a little maintenance. I've got my bubble wrap on here. I brought in my additional insulation that I put down on the side here, which we're going to talk through here in a little bit about why I do this and why I actually block some of the sun. And it has a lot to do with, we'll get into that here. There's a reason that I'm not worried about having my insulation on the side here and blocking some of the sun coming in. Right now, currently with just this much here in the sun that we've had today, it's been 35 to 40 degrees outside all day. We are sitting at 70 degrees, 7-0 in the greenhouse right now. You're getting sunshine, and you saw from the thumbnail, we got stuff's doing its thing here. But we're definitely at that time of year where I've got to get out in front of this. I've got to get my lights in here to help all of our plants, as they're growing, as they're doing their thing, because we are definitely this time of year, we do not get enough sunlight at all. Obviously we're getting ready to get to the winter, what do we got? Winter solstice coming up here. I think it's on the 21st to the 22nd. Once we get past that, now it'll be expanding the amount of light that we're going to get, but we still need to have more and more light in order for these things to grow. And it's really clear just to see why. This lettuce has been struggling without getting as much light. It's pretty good, but this is 2 months in on this lettuce, and 6 weeks on this lettuce. And it should be much larger at this point. Again, it just doesn't have enough light. And that's okay though. Not worried about that. That lettuce that's there, that production, it's just for the chickens more than anything. Just give them something to peck at, because they don't get a lot of green right now. Although right now, the girls are out. I let them kind of loose. They won't go too far, but they are enjoying some of the grass. I do have my grass is green underneath the snow. So there's that, so it does have that little bit. So that's been good. All right. So again, on order of operations today, I have lights. I have lights that need to go up, but we're going to go through here and just do a little maintenance on our bubble wrap here. Try to take advantage of the warmth today and just kind of re-duct tape a few of these spots up here. If you want to learn about how I go about and actually insulate this greenhouse, again, my greenhouse is 6 by 6 by 16, actually 7. All right, I'm fine. Yeah, 7 by 6 by 16. I have a video out there. You can go and look. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And also, when you hop in the chat, let us know where you're from. It always helps to know where people are. I'm in northern Michigan. Just love to hear where people are at, either in the U.S. or around the world. We have a lot of folks that come in from different parts of the, all around the globe for this stuff. So, but if you want to see a video on how I actually did my insulation for this, I have foam insulation on the outside and then bubble wrap on certain areas on the inside, along with some other insulation that I have here. So, boom, good. We got jokes right off the bat today. I love it. Thank you. So, but if you want to learn about that, there's a video that I actually have to go to my channel. You can see it. And again, it's basically, hey, how to, basically how to wrap your greenhouse and insulate it, which is a thing that we have. So again, the reason that we insulate our, we have greenhouse is to extend our growing season. It's a pretty short growing season here in northern Michigan. Not as short as others, but it is short. Greenhouses allow you to extend it at the beginning, at the end, to allow you to grow more things. Get your stuff started. So as soon as the ground is basically, you can start working the soil. You can get plants in the ground. It's and there's a whole science to that. And we're in the greenhouse live when we do that, when we're working on stuff. So starting January, really, we're going to be out here on a pretty consistent basis, working in the greenhouse, working on stuff, getting our flowers and our seeds for our vegetables started. Okay. So order operations, we got to fix. Then we're going to get some lights hung up here because I do need to get some lights out on top of these. And you can tell it may not come through too well but you can see how we're a bit on light on the green. It's not as, it's not bad. I mean, yeah, this isn't hard. Again, you just got to have what I would recommend to get stuff going. Like you can see where the green isn't really bright green. It's because it's not getting a lot of sun, right? It hasn't been. But it's real, the big thing to keep in mind here is that in order for you to get stuff to grow, and I'll kind of show you what I have here because I can move it right to you. There's two things. First, you need one of these things. You need a grow mat. I get these grow mats here. They're really inexpensive. You can get them off of Amazon. And what they do is you need to have the soil needs to be 70 degrees. And it needs to be 70 degrees, needs to be high, enough for it to germinate, right? Once you actually get the seeds to germinate, you can take them off of this and they'll do their thing, although the warmth does help them. And the other thing I just recommend is make sure you have some insulation. So, hey, it's holiday season's coming up. If you want to do this, save some of your insulation. So that way you put this under, you put basically the warming mat, you put your warming mat on top of the insulation here, right? So all of the heat makes its way back up here. You're not losing it underneath, right? And you'll have this set on top there. And then when you just have the seeds, you basically put a greenhouse in a greenhouse just like this. The issue you got to worry about though is when you do have this, you've got to be aware because this makes a super greenhouse. You'll be a greenhouse inside of a greenhouse and you'll end up roasting your seeds, which when it comes to like sunflower seeds, especially if they're salted, that's not bad. But when it comes to stuff that you actually want to germinate and grow, that's not the best thing on here. So, but yeah, so that's going to be working here. We got to get the lights out because I do want to get some more lights on these to make sure that we do have our vegetables are getting, our plants here are getting what they need to get. I've got some onions started here. You can see them doing, they're starting to get into their own, which is great. They've just been kind of doing their thing here, which we love. They smell great, and it's mostly because I like to have fresh, I like having fresh onions around throughout the year. I use a lot. So, oh man, how am I doing for a man? I'll tell you, it is great. We got sunshine today. Thank you for asking on that. Aaron, where are you at in the world? Make sure, again, you guys hop in the chat. Let us know where you're from. But yeah, it is great today. Like I said, it's 70 degrees, 71 degrees inside here right now. So, yeah, the Martian movie. I just hope the thing doesn't blow up, right? I know. Yeah, matter of fact, they got another version from that author. He's got his next movie coming out. I actually read the book for it, so I was kind of disappointed they made it into a movie because the book wasn't all that great. But either way, I'm sure it'll do well. But anyways, I digress. We're out here doing our stuff here. Oh, that's right. That's it. Yep. Yeah, 76, 56. I'm honestly, my humidity is probably right around 70 in here right now. I keep a lot of water and just open stuff here as well. So, but yeah, no, it's great. What a great time to be out here right now. Like I said, we're getting some sun. I've got to do a little touch up here. So we're going to just kind of work on that. And again, so this is bubble wrap. Now this bubble wrap that I have here, again, I have a video on this. You can go check it out on the channel. This is my south facing wall. As you can see, I'm getting sunlight on my face right now. What I have here is just this one section. It's my top angled portion of the greenhouse. I have bubble wrap on. Everywhere else has foam insulation, has 1/2 inch foam insulation around there. So Dial, yeah, exactly. Yep, pretty much. There's only so much you can do, right? I mean, biggest thing is whenever I need to adjust it here, I'll actually just open the door. I'll find a way to just crack a little bit. I do have, and one thing I do have as well is, oops, make sure you're good here. There we go. Is I actually have my fan system that I will actually, I don't have it turned on, but I'll open up this section so just a little bit of air will come in. So kind of help it here. So you could start your time, your ghost, but yep, absolutely. We're getting so close to be able to start some stuff. I'm pretty excited, but I'm going to be starting my, like I said, we've got a lot of flowers we're going to be started. Again, especially for my spring vegetables. So a lot of, I will be starting brassicas in January because I can start working the ground here in March. Usually I had stuff out in I had stuff out in March, like mid to late March, and it was a lot of lettuce, a lot of my brassicas, and they did really well. Like I say, your lettuces, right? That's a plural, and brassicas, which again, brassicas are going to be your broccoli, is going to be your cauliflower, your Brussels sprouts. I always throw Swiss chard in there. It's not technically a brassica, but it's there. You can have those start once they're starting in the ground, they'll be fine, right? It's just getting them started. Same thing for peas. You can have those out there as well. This peas do really well, but I've also got beets this year, and I had a whole bunch of requests come in from the neighborhood for stuff that they would like me to have available. I have a garden stand that I do that's out there, and it's donation only. I try not, I'm in a food desert here. I'm in a really rural part of Michigan. Folks don't have a lot of money, so I don't mind that they ask me, hey, would you mind doing this or this so that they can get access to vegetables on the cheap or for free, which is really what it's all about for me. I just want to make sure people got access to food. But they can put their orders in, and beets are one of them that they were definitely asking about this year. Like, hey, can you do more beets and can you have them available sooner? Which we're definitely gonna be doing that. Different varieties. So a couple things. I've been in contact. I'm waiting to hear back from a few more, but I'm working on having live streams with some of the seed the seed producers, and some of the folks that do the products that we use, to have them on for like a live stream. So everybody who subscribes, obviously it just helps. So if you don't mind, please do that. And then just, if you want to be available to ask questions, just learn more about how these folks say, hey, best way to do their seeds and to take care of them. I'm working on having that. So, oh, thank you very much. I appreciate the subscription. Thank you so much. I just went over 2,000 subscribers yesterday. I had a live stream where I had my avalanche roof rake system where we were pulling snow off of the roof, and it put me over 2,000 subs. So, that's pretty awesome. Just for some guy out here hanging out in his greenhouse and just chatting with the folks. So, definitely appreciate the subs. And I finally got my merch in. There's a link in the description. So I've got my again, easygoing growers shirts here, and on the back it's got, basically says, there goes some more stuff here. So basically saying, we don't worry that worrying attracts squash bugs, so don't do that. It's one of the things that I say consistently. Everything we're going about here, folks, is we don't worry. We don't worry about this stuff. End of the day, we can just start more seeds. Unless the apocalypse comes, and then we need all of this for sustenance, but that's the thing. Anyways, all right, so with this, just so folks know, again, we're bubble wrapping all of this up, and this isn't like massive insulation. It's simply just to help, but it does allow the light to come through, and it does allow, it does still allow us to trap the heat and everything like that. So yeah. And again, with a bubble wrap here, and it's a simple system. This bubble wrap, I just get it off of Amazon. It's nothing special. You can find like pool wrap and other stuff if you're worried about, you want it to last more in a season. But I gave up on trying to find something that was gonna, last a long time a while ago. The bubble wrap, and again, this is simply just comes in a roll. It comes in these rolls. You can get it off of Amazon. They're big old rolls like this, and this is the stuff I actually use. The reason I get this, because I can also use it for gift wrapping because it's perforated, right? So this time of year, everything that I have that's left over that's extra, I can just use it, take it in the house, and now I've got gift wrap too. Because I've got family that lives in Southern California. I'm sure my daughter Michaela will hop on here at some point. She always finds me when I'm online here. And I got my oldest daughter, or my youngest daughter, she's up in Portland, Maine. So, be able to send them stuff and keep it safe. So there's been that. All right. So this is better. Actually, I want to do a couple more. I got a couple spots here. Now, last night, I'll tell you, so we had that, I don't know where, Aaron, for you, I'm just curious, did you have the really bad winds last night? We had to have 50, 60 mile an hour gusts last night. It was just insane how bad it was blowing. So obviously I was a little worried about it. If you guys, longtime viewers on here, I've got basically when it comes to my the stuff that I have on my house, as far as I manufacture, I build all of my own Christmas displays. So I have stuff that is on the house that it's there, it'll hold up just fine, but it's not really rated for hurricane gust or tropical storm gust, right? I was like, great, this stuff's going to end up across the neighborhood or something, and everything survived, amazingly enough. So I'll give myself a little credit for my ability to keep stuff around. So, all right. Okay, so that's good there. So let me give you guys a little once over on the insulation now that we've kind of taken care of this part here. So on this side of this side, I'm not sure how well you guys can see that. Let me touch that there, see if it helps a little bit. So this is 1/4 inch insulation that I have in here, and I actually have I want the reflective side this way, so any light that does come in, I want it bouncing around and hitting down here. On the floor, I have tiles, tile flooring. They're dark with, they have pea gravel, and I threw some insulation underneath them too. These warm up and retain a little bit of heat throughout the, throughout the night. To kind of help things out, but I still have to have my heater going. We're going to take a look at that, show you my heater. So, but we have insulation down here. And again, so with this, most people, they say, why aren't you letting more sun in here? And it really has to do with two things. One, the angle of the sun is really just coming down through this spot along here. It's really narrow band that I have the light this time of year. But the other side is this wall, up until today, had snow piled up to here. No light was getting in anyways, and it doesn't do that during the winter. So I'd rather, and I don't want to have just an ice wall sitting there right against here. It just kind of defeats the purpose of the greenhouse, right? So we put this insulation up here. I've got insulation. This same insulation is on the outside of this wall. It's on the north wall, the north roof over here. It's on the north wall here, and it's on the east wall over here and outside. So basically, it's 80%, 72%, I don't know, whatever the math is, of the actual greenhouse during this time of year is insulated. All right, additionally, all right, so I've got this, I don't know how well you can see this here, but I've got this stuff here. So this is HVAC wrap. Okay, this is stuff that goes around, your HVAC to kind of help with, to maintain the temperatures so you don't have condensation, right? And it reflects, it keeps the heat in, it keeps cold in, vice versa, but it's reflective. So what happens is I want to have the light that's coming in here, and it bounces back down here, and it goes from, the light into infrared, and then it warms things up. So we want it reflecting here as well too. So this comes down. So like these are getting hit from both sides, right? Which is what you want to have. Okay. So there's that. Last thing we have in here too, just so you guys, we have a lot of new folks on here that don't know the setup. So that's why I always try to walk them through at the beginning. I have, and you can get this from Amazon. I have this heater. It's the Vivo Sun. This is backwards for y'all. I apologize, but it's Vivo Sun is what it is. And it's just a little heater, but it comes with the thermostat here, which I can adjust and do all the stuff here. So, hey, Dan, good to see you on here. Like number 13. All right. But it has a little thermostat here with a little thermometer gig that I have it set so when it hits 40 degrees, the heater turns on, right? And this keeps it right around 40 degrees during the evening and the overnight, so nothing really drops down. There's sometimes, it does what it can, especially like we had 0 degrees going on here. I was just hoping to keep it around 32. Again, this is in freedom units here, 32 to 31, because most of the stuff, once it's germinated, it can survive a little bit below freezing. And I only lost a few things. So that's really what you want to have. But most of the time, we're not into 0 degrees down here. We're in the 20s and the teens, which this little heater does just fine. It's got 2 settings, but it keeps things right where it's at. So There's that spot over there. So what we're doing today, again, to go back to that is, I've actually got to water stuff first because I want to make sure we're keeping things kind of hydrated here. And this guy's been doing pretty good. I've got standing water in this. It's been feeding into these guys. My onions are a little bit light, so we're just going to give them a nice little light soaking here. I try not to get too much, especially for these because this doesn't drain, right? You got to maintain your drainage. And then over here, you know, this poor sunflower, he germinated on me, so I was like, well, I'll just keep you around. Well, let's just say he hasn't been doing his best, and now I've got a couple basil plants here that are trying. They're trying to keep going, and then I've got some more onions over here as well. So those guys are good. Everybody's hydrated. And then I have my lettuce. Again, my lettuce is down here, which you guys see these are, and these are for the chickens for the most part here. Yeah. 20, 30 mile. Yeah, I'm right off the lake, man. And we got some stuff just absolutely was slamming us down here. We had a tree came down somewhere. I haven't seen where it's at yet, but man, did we hear it. Like it was a loud snap and a bang. So we had that. But okay. So a couple things. We're gonna do a little testing first. We got a little test here to say last year's, and this is my last year's pickup for my come on, Ryan, use your words. These are my grow lights that I have, and I got these little guys here that are just enough to kind of get some light down on these. Again, the goal here is I don't really have a lot of stuff that grows. I'm not trying to grow anything for full-on harvest. Everything that we grow is meant to get to a certain point and then either end up for the chickens, ends up for me in the plate, which a lot of lettuce really is that way. Again, for those that don't know, when you're growing lettuce, the stuff that we eat is the immature version of lettuce. It hasn't bolted, which is where it grows up and starts to flower. Nothing that I grow in here this time of year is meant for, to go to harvest or go to seed or anything. So we just need enough light to kind of get it going, get it started, and then it's going to make its way and move out to the garden at some point. All right. So with that, I need to find which one of these guys is connected where. Oh, here it is. All right, so we're going to test these out. Now these lights, and again, these are more that I got from Amazon here. So I know, hey, we're getting there. They're coming along. The onions are doing well. This lettuce is struggling a little bit here, but we're working on that. For those that don't know, again, these lights here, you can get these off of Amazon, and they basically just daisy chain. You plug one in, and you just kind of run the whole lights all the way down here. But we're going to test them. Always test the lights before you set them up. You're welcome for that. For anybody who doesn't know, hasn't been made that mistake before. Always test your lights before you put them up. And again, we're just going to test them here. And this year I've got a new light that we are testing that I want to make sure is it's good to go. We already tested it, but it's a longer one and a bit brighter that I'm going to have for the top here. I think is where we're going to have that guy set up at top or there'll be a decision made. I think I'll have it on the top there as well. So yeah, you got to test them. It's no different than Christmas lights. It's just one of those things. I've been down the road before that. I got this stuff going. So, hey, what do we got here? Doing outside here. Oh yeah, I know. All right, so let's see. Let's see if we got our lights here. I don't know if you guys can see that too well, but we are definitely lit. Let's see if we can do this. There you go. All right, so we got one here. Yeah, I saw that fall season 2 was out. I did see that. So I'm gonna definitely check that out. I'm hoping, like fingers crossed, that they did not I don't want to what's the phrase there, that they didn't read their press and try to go over the top on anything. All right, so you see this one here is good. Yeah, we've got it's saying because I don't want to have happen what happened with Wednesday. We'll put it that way, right? Wednesday was good, and then they tried to just go too much, lean into it too much for the second season. That's always my worry when you have these shows and they always constantly try to one up and overdo everything. It's a little bit an issue, but anyways, moving on back to this stuff here. Yeah, for the weather here, so we've got 40s today, and it's supposed to be. I actually so that's a great question. I have a timer. I have timers that I use for this, and like I say right now my timer is currently being used for my for the chickens. I have to get another timer to move that off to because they're going to be like on opposite schedules, right? Because I have I have a brooding heater that I turn on whenever the temperature drops below 20 for the chickens, but I have something that keeps the water from freezing. I'm using that right now. So, but this, it's the opposite where these are going to be on at night and stuff like that. So, is what it is. All right, so these guys look pretty good, right? Get a little sunshine. There we go. Test them out. I should have one more. There it is, way over there. But yeah, we're actually preparing. I'm a school board member, and I got a briefing today. The superintendent, he stopped by our coffee shop, by the way. So smart plugs. I don't trust smart plugs, not for this. It's just not one of those things that I do. I'm all about analog when it comes to this. I like to be able to just tactile and do it. I've had too many times where if we have the wireless go out for whatever reason, we still have power, but the wireless, and I just don't ever want that to be a thing. So, I just want to say, hey, this is tactile, especially with they got the little things you can just click them up and down. So there you go. But I got a briefing from my superintendent that we're supposed to be getting, some, what are they saying here? We're supposed to be getting a ton of rain that is then flash freezing and then like 8 inches of snow. All of that. So no oregano, nope, no oregano. I do have no oregano and no electric lettuce, although I do have oregano that is it's a perennial. It's out in my garden. So, but no electric lettuce in here, guys. All right, so that was good. It's cool. Now for this, I store one thing, by the way, for those folks that are, if you're thinking about getting a greenhouse, one of the things I would tell you, one thing, I'll come back to the insulation in a second for you here. One of those folks here that, by the way, if you folks haven't, by the way, when you hop in the chat, let me know where you're from. Be sure to hit the thumbs up, and hopefully earn your subscription day. It just helps with the algorithm, helps gets me out to more folks here. So, anyways, when you have your greenhouse, what I would tell all of you is that make sure that you have your stuff set up in a way that when it gets to be summertime and you're going to be done, that you can easily pull everything down and store it in a dark space, because the UV light will absolutely shred anything that's in here. It'll absolutely destroy it. So for instance, the panels that are up here, I've had to replace, I'm replacing these every 2 years. It's because the UV comes through and it absolutely just shreds them. It falls apart. Matter of fact, I think it was, actually it's right behind you, this one that's back over here, but we'll pretend it's this one. The winds came through and just blew this thing out in the middle of a storm. I had to come out and, do a fix like in the middle of a storm to protect what I had going on in here. So, and it was fine, but I thought I had another year, but it didn't. So just keep that in mind. You want to have this. So, all right, appreciate that. Thank you. So again, the insulation, just to go back to that again, and it's a question I get all the time on here. It's not a big deal. I love being able to talk about it. I actually have a video on my channel. If you go take a look, you'll see a picture of me basically saying bubble wrap or foam insulate, bubble wrap or foam. You'll see it out there. It's a video of actually how I went through and did all this. This is 1/2 inch foam board they have out here. And this is on the outside of most of the greenhouse, except for this spot over here. I have it inside because once it starts snowing, I put this up here because I get a wall of snow along here, and I don't want to have the snow just up against the, up against here. Kind of defeats the purpose, right? Have that ice wall. And then this is just regular old bubble wrap, standard packing bubble wrap that I get from Amazon. Okay, so, yep. And so, anyways, where we're at currently is, let me get back to the stuff here. Oh yeah, and I always keep spares because it does happen where I get this up here from the greenhouse, these panels. This is the actual panels that we use for the greenhouse up here. In case something happens, I can always replace them wherever it goes. So, and yeah, I noticed that you got in there, you could build it better. I would hope so, because I am a absolute rank amateur when it comes to building anything. So the chances are good everybody on here right now could build this better than me. So don't worry about it. So yeah. So no worries. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, my day job is not building greenhouses, so we're good. So with that, and lastly, we've got the new one that we're testing here this year, which will be fine. But I wanted something that was a little bit bigger, a little bit more robust. And this is basically just a larger version of this guy here, right? This is a grown up version versus the little guy here, all right? So, all right. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, trust me on this. There's days where I'm like, man, Ryan, do you even know what you're doing? But again, this greenhouse, this is probably my last year with this green. It's either, yeah, oh yeah, it's a big boy, big boy. So this is probably my last year with this green, well, at least having this greenhouse. I plan on replacing it. I'm not 100% certain. I do need to redo a chicken coop, so that's priority going to get that done. But if I can get this done going into next fall or whatever, we're going to redo this, and I'm going to have a much larger footprint, build it up a little bit higher as well too. So we've more than likely. So we'll see. All right, so just test this last one here. All right, so you can see this here. It's a big, it is, it's a pretty decent sized one here. Let's make sure. Oh, there we go. Look at that guy. That is bright. I don't know how bright it is for y'all, but it's bright on this end here. I will do a live when I go live pretty much all the time. So just make sure that you hit the notification bell so you'll see when I go live on here. So there's very few things. Shawnee, you've seen me out in my garage when we were building out the stuff here. So next, well, that's part. So it's good point there. So the next greenhouse is more than likely going to have, I'm going to dig it out, and that's part of where I have to plan this out and do some research. What I'm going to do is put a heat sink in it, and on one end of it, so where I'm going to have, basically use a thermal battery system to be able to keep it warm, keeps it warm in here, gets it down there. And then the layout, well, I'm doing the layout, it'll be out here outside my garden, and then I have one for layout for my chicken coop too. So I got a few things we're going to be doing here. So, oh, hey, I appreciate it. Thank you, Aaron. Hey, we'll see you next time. Thank you very much. Again, make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when I come live on here. So we've got, I always try to talk stuff out here live whenever I'm doing stuff too. So yeah, you want to follow, you can just kind of get in, because there's a lot of people with good ideas. I want to make sure we got as many people here to help me figure this out. But we're going to do a thermal battery is what I want to have, increase the size, and then on one end of it, I'm going to move one of my compost piles to the far side to add some additional heat, kind of protect it, and then use the compost heat to keep this, to keep this stuff to temperature. So lots of plans, lots of stuff here, but again, I'd rather have it when it's a little bit warmer out to do it. So thank you, I appreciate it. Okay, so again, welcome everybody. If you haven't been in here, we are in my greenhouse up here in northern Michigan. We have sun. Oh, so happy right now. I was down in New Orleans and we had sunshine and it was 80 degrees. It was wonderful. I come back up to 6 degrees. 6. It was so something. So yeah. But anyways, we're past that now and we're back up here. So what I'm doing right now is we're getting ready to hang my lights, and we're going to start with my larger one here. To hang this guy, and we're going to hang it basically just right here. I'm going to set it up so we can have multiples of these kind of set up. So I'm going to show you what I do to do this. All right, we use these when you get one of these aluminum style greenhouses. Yeah, it's going to last longer too. Like this one, by the way, this greenhouse has got plenty of time where it could last. It's just that for the volume that my neighbors are asking for, they're looking for it to be a bit, they're looking for more production, and I'm here to help, right? So on your aluminum style greenhouses that we have here, they have these ridges that are in here, right, in the spines, and they have an area where you can buy these little clips. See this little clip here, and it's got this little T-shaped thing, right? And what it does, trying to find where you guys can see this here, you can pop them right into place, and it holds on there, right? But you can adjust it to where you want it to be at. Okay, and that's what we're going to be doing here. Across here is just dropping these in. There you go. So I gotta be set up here, and we'll adjust it once we get closer. but we'll get them in here for now. Come on. There we go. I think 3 will probably get her done. And it locks them right in. So we're going to hang our lights from there, place them directly over where, oh, oops, let me move this thing out of the way. Just place it over here. I'm going to get this guy off of all this off the insulation. It's not needed anymore. There. And the other thing too, so these mats, by the way, these warming mats, are, you know, for the tray warmers, you can get these off of Amazon. That you can get them for like a six for very next to nothing. So, nope, not planting any of that. We're brassicas this time, brassicas and starting flowers. I got some perennials I want to start too this year. But you can get these. They roll up real nice, just like this. And you store them. I probably got 12 or 14 of these now that we just kind of set up. And again, these are only for when you need to get your seeds to germinate. Once they germinate, you don't need to keep them on under here. Does it help? A little bit, but it's not really necessary, okay? So just keep that in mind. When you do these things, they're meant just to get everything germinated, and then that's it. Okay. All right. So next thing is it should have, so it also comes, do they make those? You can design, there's all sorts of stuff. When you start getting into that half stuff where you got to drop them in, you're some engineering stuff that needs to start happening on that. So, you know, you can find those. They have folks that are out there. There's a lot of greenhouse places that do produce things similar to that, but you just got to make sure that you, you know, are aware you're going to be asking for something pretty, you know, pretty specific at that point. And also, once you start digging in the ground, there's some other things you gotta keep into consideration. So, yeah, once you start digging down, there's all sorts of stuff that goes on. Each of your municipalities is a little different about how they do that. Like for this, like, you know, I dug down a little bit just to be able to get some insulation, and that's it. And again, with my property, and where I'm at, you know, with the local municipality, you have to get, you know, any sort of like these buildings and the stuff approved. I'm the guy that approves. So I just had, you know, another guy from the committee come down, and I explained what I was doing, and then we were just off to the races after that. So now so with this is another, with this, you'll see here, when you get your greenhouse lights, they're designed, like I said, designed to be daisy chained. They're designed for you to connect them up. What I go back to with everybody here is, there will be instructions, and it'll tell you how many and how much, as far as how many amps you should be pulling through this, right? I would definitely recommend the only thing that you would connect to this, and again, look at your instructions and directions with anything you buy. The only thing that should be connected to this should be other lights. Don't do anything else because of the draw, and none of the wiring on here is really going to be designed to pull that amount of, you know, electricity through. You can get a fire and all sorts of bad stuff happens. So, oh, got my chicks. Hey girls, what you guys doing? You guys want to? Hey girls, you want to come in? Come on. You want to give it a try? Sorry, I got my girls. I just saw them through the door here, so let's see. All right. Okay, so back at it here. But again, just keep that in mind here, and it will tell you exactly what you can do for power and everything like that. So just make sure you keep that top of mind. I want you guys to be safe when you're doing this stuff, okay? All right. So I got this one. There it is. All right. So what this I know, man, I'm 47. You can just hear it. I should not be making grunting noises when I fall over, but here we are, right? I guess we're at. So on the end here, they come with these little hanging hooks, right? A couple of holes there, and you just slide right through. So there you go. So we're gonna have 2 of these going. Got one there, and I got one here. Now, hopefully, that's what I thought. See, and this is the thing, like, the folks that build these things, they know who's buying them. These line up exactly with your sections here, right? This is a 4-foot. These are 2-foot panels. And they know it's folks like me that are buying these things. So that's what we have. All right, so I'm just gonna try not to smush my guys here. All right, and they come with these cool little hangy hooks too to make it like. Trust me, folks. They know, they all talk, they pay attention, and they come with these little hang hook just like this, so you can see what this looks like. All right, so we're gonna do this like this. Yeah, exactly. You've been old since you've been young. Yeah, same here. My hairline has been old since I was young too. My hairline has continued to be in this general vicinity since I was a kid. It's the stuff back here that solar panels been kicking up. So, all right. So here's what you got here. I'm just gonna slide this around, so you can see they give you plenty of length to hang here, and the goal here is to have. That didn't just happen. Pay no attention to that. All right. There we go. Back as I was. The goal here is basically just to get this thing and find the area that we want to hang this at, have it set up, and we're just going to basically adjust the chain. And the way you do that, you got the hook right here's on the chain. See how it's on this one right here? We'll just move it back a couple of chain links. That's it. You just adjust the size and figure out the size you want and just go from there. It's that simple, folks. But again, this does take time, and this is also where if you have a friend, it's a lot easier when you got an extra person to helping you out with this too. So just keep that in mind. You know, it's not required, obviously, but it is nice to have a friend to be able to help out with this stuff. All right, so then we're just going to take this. I think we're going to go right about here, and you can always now, folks. This is the big thing here. We've got it on the back of the shirt here. Again, merch. If you'd love to if you'd love to support the channel, go and pick yourself up a shirt, get a hat here. Easygoing Growers. We have it on here. We don't worry. Worrying attracts squash bugs. You know, it's one of the things that we talk about here consistently is that just make a decision. So we want to hang this. I'm going to bring this over here a little bit. You guys can see what I'm doing. I've got to remember to stay in frame here, right? We're just going to go ahead and find one of these here. I think right about here is probably right. Clicked it through right there. All right, and now we have our chain set for our first one. And what it is, okay, so I've got the hook in up here. I've got the little double hook down here. And then really it's simply just connecting it here. All right, and now you can see we're just got the one end just hung up here. That's great. So before I head over here though, we're just gonna count up. Hey, that's a great question. Again, for lights that you need, what I recommend is always get full spectrum. Pretty much any of the grow lights that you're gonna get right now for your greenhouse, for your vegetables, for your flowers, or if you're growing flower, right? For those that are curious, you wanna go full spectrum. It covers everything up, it hits what you need. Now, as far as the distance, what I like to say is you want it as close as you can to make sure you got coverage. And then as they're growing, you just continue to move it up, like that's it. But you need them down, they put off light, they put out a lot of light, but they don't put out anywhere near obviously the lumens that you're gonna get from the sun. So you just gotta keep that in mind and make sure you keep that balanced, okay? So let's count down how many we have here. All right, so let's see. We are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 6 from, we did the clip 6 from that. It's not on my website. So it's not on my website. There's a link in the description and I use Printify. So it's drop shipping. That's where it's at, and I've got these shirts. You can pick a couple of colors and I got some hats. I didn't want to wear a hat today because man, I'm just telling you, I'm just enjoying being warm today. It's nice. I've been freezing since I got back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is 6. So we're just going to click that guy right there. Make double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. Okay. So you can go check it out there. Absolutely. Obviously, the best way to support the channel is, hey, what's going on, Angela? Again, reminder for best way to support the channel is definitely to hit subscribe, hit that thumbs up. And when you do jump in the chat, be sure to let us know where you're from. I'm always curious where people are from on the planet here. I'm here in northern Michigan, doing my best to stay warm. Okay, so you can just see this here. So yeah, just let us know where you're from. because you have a lot of folks here, which I found it's been so funny too. We have people that are from the same city that have actually run into each other a couple times on this. It's pretty funny. And then I think Shawnee, I don't know if Shawnee's still on here now. Sometimes she just leaves me on as a white noise in the background. Not sure what to make of that half the time, but she had folks from her live stream. They all showed up on here one day too. It was pretty funny. So Massachusetts, all right. Yeah, I used to live in Portland, Maine, as a matter of fact. Um, you know, and so yeah, Northeast. Definitely good to be out of the Northeast just for the back here in Michigan. I had to be back here to take care of family. It's part of the deal. So let's see here. I'm gonna go down all the way here. There we go. I'm gonna move you down a little bit. So right now, again, all I'm doing is trying to make sure that this is centered over my okay, Champaign, Illinois, Old Orchard. Yeah, I used to live in Old Orchard Beach. I was actually on the planning board there. Not the planning board. I was on the zoning board of appeals, excuse me. So that's where I was at. Okay, so we are gonna do something here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Why does that seem off? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I'm just gonna go up one more. I think that's just the answer here, guys. I don't like the way it looks, so we're just gonna adjust it. Again, doesn't have to be perfect here, folks. We're not looking for perfection. We're looking for good enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, and I don't actually have a website. So the question on that, I don't have a website up yet. I have a website for my primary business, which I'm a business coach and exit planner, help people get their businesses ready to sell. That's what I do primarily for work. So there we go. I think that's going to work right there. So you guys can see we got the light here and everything. So let's get everybody on here. Yeah, it's weird. I actually approved Rudolph Giuliani's shed one time. That was pretty funny. So now from here on out, if I want to adjust these, it's really simple. You just kind of you basically just go through and hook the top pieces through. You just make it work here, guys. There's no like right or wrong way to do this. So like as they're growing up, you can just continue to lift them up higher and higher like this. And once they get to a certain point, I actually move them down. If you guys will come on down here. No family in Old Orchard. My daughter, my youngest is a teacher in Portland. And again, so as these are growing, so this is where I start stuff at because, again, to be able to manage it here. And then I move everything down here for a different set of lights, depending on the time of year and where these are at. So, because there is definitely a difference in the heat too. Obviously it's warmer up here. It's going to help the things get started. Plenty of light. And then down here is where I typically have these lights at because I can adjust them up and down as things are growing a lot easier over here. So cool. These guys are doing good. So we're going to turn this guy sideways. Or actually, we're going to move them over here. Those guys are going to go right here. And then the lettuce is all doing fine. Actually, we're going to do this. Oh, man. So you guys can tell this or not, but man, we just had, this is the part that cracks me up about this time of year. So the sun, where it's at, it just went behind the pine. I have this big pine tree in my neighbor's yard. It just went behind this pine tree and the temperature dropped probably, oh God, I mean, I can probably look here. Yeah, temperature dropped 10 degrees. 10 degrees like in a matter of like 5 minutes. It's pretty wild. So, all right. We're gonna put these guys up here. We're gonna give the lettuce a little bit of fresh light here. Now, hopefully I can do this without dumping the water. Come on, Ryan, you can do it. We believe in you. We believe, we believe, we believe. Yes, okay, cool. So we got that guy there. And get you guys out of my chest there. You can see that stuff. What we're gonna do is I've got my power cable here, like we were talking about here. So you can see here, I use an old school little clicker deal here. We're gonna turn it back on though. The timer back on. Actually, yeah, we're turning the timer back on for today, and use these little clicker things here right in here. So, that conversation's come up before. We like to do that, and then Actually, you know what? Maybe I may just plug these guys directly in here. Just do that. There we go. There we go. We got lights are on. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but we got the lights are on. Everyone's nice and happy right now. I want to give these guys a little bit. I'm not too worried about the lettuce getting too much light, but we're gonna do a little bit of a test here to see how this goes. And I do have this guy with my, sorry about that. So my favorite thing to grow, so it kind of varies. I'm honestly one of my favorite. Hey, oh yeah, we had a good time. A good time. Hey, Don, I'll catch up with the New Orleans thing in a second. So one of my favorite things to grow here, I really enjoy growing basil. It's one of those. It was like one of the first things that I grew. I have a lot of tomatoes that I grow. A lot of my neighbors really, obviously for obvious reasons, they enjoy having fresh tomatoes, cucumbers, things like that. But I absolutely enjoy growing basil and actually getting a basil bush. Right, this year's bush was probably about yay big and like yay big around of some sweet basil that I grew. I just enjoy the process of getting it started and then continuing to allow to grow it out. You know, um, when it should be going to seed, keeping it from going to seed, and then allowing it to just continue to grow. So that way I can, I dehydrate a ton of it along with the oregano and Obi-Wan. I'm telling you that. That's great. I love that. So far in the last few streams I've had Obi-Wan, I had Josh Dumel, right? Fergie's ex-husband, right? Who was the other guy that I had? He's that country singer guy. Is married to Gwen Stefani, that guy, whatever his name was. It's so funny. So, I had some Creole tomatoes. I had some fried green tomatoes. I had some Creole tomatoes. I did have those, so those were good. We had a good time in New Orleans. Thank you for asking. So, those are not the sprouts I'm looking for. That is correct. But we did have a good time in New Orleans. I enjoyed the warmth, and I was very sad when I got back here and I was freezing cold. So, there's that for sure. Okay, so you can see we got this set of lights here are good. So we're gonna call this a W today. I'm really happy about this. We got everybody watered. This is going here. We've tested these lights. I wanted to get these out of the shed, get them over here, get them tested because we are gonna have these out here in a little bit. So no aquaponics. There's no need for it for me. Like I was saying, I can grow. I mean, it's a 25 by 50 garden over here that I produce. I think I had north of 50 bushels out of this thing this last year. I want to say between tomatoes and cucumbers, and I only used really effectively maybe at most half the space because I have my chickens in here. They're moving into the backyard. So I produce way more than my family, including my mom, like will use. But I was saying with the vegetable stand and what we're doing there, I've got plenty of stuff. So that's like an extra expense that I don't necessarily need. So very long answer to your question is no, I haven't. I do know folks around here that do use it and they enjoy it and they've been successful, but they don't have as much necessarily the setup that I do either. So there's that. All right. So with that, folks, let's talk about what we got, what we're going to be looking at here. So I am going to be placing my order. I'm going to be getting a few different versions of seeds here. So this is from Organo Republic. So it's like, these guys are great. Like organic, but Organo Republic. I know it's backwards for y'all, but you can get this on Amazon. They're folks, I have notes out to them to see if I can get them on to, come on, answer questions, talk with people, and just kind of give some more advice about the stuff that they have here. Because they do a really good job with their seeds at a really great germination rate with them. Really, really happy with who they are as well. But we have some stuff that we've still got to do for setup. So as well. Now, so with that, if you guys haven't subscribed, please do if you want to be able to follow along throughout the year while we're doing stuff, because I do some of the stuff, a lot of this on the mobile. However, when we get to certain times of the year, I go to desktop, right? Like I actually go to what would be the standard view, the horizontal look on that. What that does is allow me with my broadcast software that I have. I bring my laptop out here, and we end up with I have a camera, right, that we actually have that's directly over the top of what I'm currently planting, what I'm working on, or if I'm coming in and we're doing, we're basically pruning stuff back. So you guys can see what I'm doing in real time. So to do that though, you want to make sure you're subscribed. You want to make sure you hit the notification bell so you can be aware of what's going on there. Because we will be looking at everything as we're going throughout the year. There's still some more setup that I have to do to be ready for that. It's still a little bit early to be doing that. A lot of this is still just kind of, we're in the early stages of prep. But I do like to get out in front of the stuff as much as possible. So, but yeah, this looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy right now where we're at. These guys are getting some light. They're living their best lives. The chicks, they've been tearing up the lettuce I've been growing. This is another set of lettuces that are doing their thing. So yeah, no drones, no drones. Just simply I got the camera that goes over the top of that, which ends up being a lot of fun. For those that have been around here while we're doing that, it's a lot of fun. So okay, so we got that set up. I got to kick the tires on a couple of these well too. Part of what we're doing today also, we got the lights tested for things, so all the lights are good. So we can do this. We move these guys out of the way. Is I have another pack of basically our trays and domes that I've got to break out and walk this through. So one of the things, have you guys take a look at, this is off of Amazon. And we'll show you this here. These are 10-15 trays with domes, the 4-pack. So we're going to pop these open here. These are from last year, but I saved them because I didn't need them. I got them in here. So we're going to take a look here and show you guys what it's at. And I've moved over to this style, and I'm recommending, and I don't make recommendations like lightly. Most of it's like, hey, you do what works best for you. In this case, this is an experience thing I'm going to share with y'all what you want to look for. So a couple things. When you have your knife holstered, by the way, right? You want to have this on here. You want it someplace you can get it out quick, but take your time putting it back. We don't hurry to put our knife back in its holster there. Okay. I've seen way too many people have the wrong, basically put the knife in the wrong spot, if you catch my drift there. All right, now this is off of Amazon where I got these from, and I want to show you what to be looking for in particular with your stuff here, okay? And this is why I like these guys, okay? So what's pretty cool is bring out the whole setup here. We've got the domes. We got some trays at the bottom, right? And again, this is simply just to get stuff started, and we're going to talk about why I got these in particular. These ones in particular. They come with these cool little gloves. I don't know. I mean, they're nice. They're cool gloves to have. They come with a little scoop because I guess you need a scoop. What I want you to look for with your trays, we'll start with this though, is a couple things. All right. So do I have some of my older ones here? These are not the 1-inch pods, which is something that you just need to be aware of. They must have, all my 1-inch pods are out, and my other are still in storage, okay? But what you want to be looking for on this for your bottom tray right here, right? See how it's got these ridges in here? That's going to be for extra stability that you have, because you're going to have water. You're going to have some water in here, but again, for whatever you have. A lot of stuff I actually put in here. I put just the soil, and I'll put the seeds in here. I'm not worried about the individual, the 1-inch pots like I have here for everything. But you want to have this, it brings that extra strength on here, because when you're lifting up, it'll sag down on the bottom, and that could be bad. So definitely want to have that for sure. Keep it there, stability. The other side that you want to have, which that's fine. You can get those on, almost all of them are like that. What you want to have though, and what I recommend, why I have this, is you want to find some that have this, where you can adjust the amount of airflow coming in and out for your seeds when they're doing the greenhouse thing. And what this will do is, if you, for whatever reason, aren't able to get out here, something happens, you can't get out to the greenhouse, it'll help you maintain the temperature and let all the excess heat out of this thing too. Like, that's the bigger piece here, because the biggest thing you're going to run into, specifically when you are trying to germinate your seeds, when you have the dome on here, it does create, it's to keep the heat, keeps your, you only have to water them basically once, right? Keeps it going. But I've lost more seeds, and I've talked to more people who've had the same issue. You end up roasting your seeds inside the actual soil to where they won't germinate, so they get burned, basically. All right. So this allows you to make sure that they still keeps the humidity, still maintains a lot of the heat, but they don't get too hot. So that way that your chances, you can still have it where it'll fry them. That still can happen. However, it gives you the best chance to make sure that they're going to survive. So if you can find, and you're ordering these, see if you can find this. They're well worth the time and energy to spend the money on. And you can also adjust this. So like in the wintertime here where I don't have a lot of direct, right? Because I've got we don't really have a lot of direct sun this time of year for a while. It just doesn't happen. We have a cloud deck that lives over the top of my house, really from now until the end of February into mid-March, where it's diffused light. And then I also have the greenhouse, but I have my bubble wrap on here, so it's more diffused. So it's very, very difficult chance to get for this to really get too roasting hot. However, comma, semicolon, however, comma, that's just a protection you can put in place, right? So definitely keep an eye on those. And these are really good. The other thing too, it's the height on these as well. So they give you an opportunity. So for instance, we have some folks out here that are going to be doing peppers and other things that kind of shoot up quick and they need the height. On a lot of these other domes that you get, and I'll show you the example here. Do a little size comparison here. You can just see how much more height you can get off of here and just kind of let them go. If you, like for me though, I get stuff grown and I get it out of here as quick as I can into something else. For those that maybe you aren't going to be doing transplanting into larger pots as much or whatever, you can do this and just allow them to grow and get more established, right? So just keep that in mind, okay, folks? Like these little guys are great, but you've got to get them out of here. See, it's solid. You're not going to let the stuff out here. This one does have the gaps in it. So just, understand what you're going to be doing for your, with your growing, what your plans are, and, just plan accordingly. But the other thing too, and this is the big piece, again, we talk about this, don't worry about it. Don't freak out about it. End of the day, you can just you can put more seeds down and just plant again. I mean, I lost 2 years ago, I lost a third of my production. Again, we had a cold snap come through, power went out, and all this power went out, had all these problems went on, and I lost a third of my stuff. I just replanted, right? That's all you can do here. So what's going on? I got a question about to be honest, I enjoy doing it. I don't have any issues with all. Sorry guys, got a question here. People asking about YouTube short streams, wondering what you think of them. I actually like them. I find, especially for what I do here, the community that I have is fantastic. They're always good about hitting thumbs up. They're good about subscribing. They have really good questions. So I really enjoy coming on YouTube. That's why I'm not on TikTok. And then really from Sucky, not too much. Matter of fact, I'm on the test group with YouTube as well. Sorry, I know I'm boring some folks here, but I'm on the test group with YouTube for so as far as when they were doing like the automatic shorts off of live streams. So I was on the test group of that. So I've been testing a few things, so I do enjoy it. So the other thing here, guys, remember what I said before about anything that you have inside the greenhouse goes back into the cardboard, unless for this here, main reason here is that, right, what do we have coming in here? A lot of sunlight and plastic. They don't mix well. So we want to make sure we just kind of keep that safe here. Okay, so other things I just want to be able to run you guys through here, okay? And it's the things just to keep in mind that we're going to be focusing on over the next little bit. As we move along here, the process really is going to be, and this is for folks that are getting ready. I've kept, throughout the years, as I buy stuff, I've kept all of my pints. You can do the same thing with and again, I just have these available, because I've been buying stuff for years. Save your cottage cheese containers, or your sour cream containers. Your plants don't care. What you want to have. So one of the things we have as a process here is we tend to start stuff on this channel. It's the best known practice is we try to start stuff in these, right? You want to start in 1-inch pods. And it's for a couple reasons, but the main reason you start on here is that it's really, this is a lot to keep hydrated for one seed, right? To get it started. This is a lot. It's a lot of space. So you start a whole bunch of them in here, right? And this is to be able to keep here. It's easier to manage. And what we do is as soon as we start seeing the taproot and roots popping down under the bottom here, right? Because they got the little holes where you do the bottom watering, you then transfer them to this as quickly as you can. And we're going to show, we do this example every single year. So if you want to see what this looks like, be sure to hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. But we're going to leave some in these 1 inch just to kind of show the month difference between starting here and then transferring to this, or starting here and leaving it in here. The size difference in the development is remarkable, okay? But you need to have these available, right? And these things are great too, because guess what? Same size. It's all the scoops that you get are designed to be able to plant these pints, okay? So, same thing. You want to keep those around. Other stuff that I want you to be thinking about, okay? Keep your clear plastic cups, okay? One of the things that you're going to have here is when we do move stuff out into the garden here, and it's going to be in March timeframe, it's still going to be cold. Overnight, you're going to have those evenings where it's going to drop below freezing. You have to have something to cover them up to keep them safe, okay? So you want to have that. Additionally, this is the other thing, slugs start coming out in March, right? Your slugs and your snails, and they love to eat your small plants as they're growing, so you need to have something to get them going. We also maintain a steady supply of beer around here. I don't drink, but I keep beer around because that is also a fantastic way to trap and take care of your slugs that are out there. And we're going to walk everybody through that whole process so they can understand those pieces, okay? So that's a lot what we have going on here. Over the next, like I said, it's getting ready to get the holiday season. We're there. Starting in January, we hit it. We kind of slow roll into it, but by mid-February, we're hitting it hard here. This entire greenhouse here, to include a big chunk of the floor, is going to be covered in plants as we are maneuvering, getting stuff going, and in various stages of germination, growth, transplants. And we're going to have real time showing you guys what it's at. And I come here live specifically so y'all can ask me questions and also help me out, because a lot of you have grown stuff that I haven't, and so I have questions. We want to make sure that we can work together on these things to kind of teamwork this stuff out, okay? So yeah, that's kind of where we're at here, folks. Today's been a good day. Just a recap of everything that we've had. We had to come back in here. This is sun's out, sun's back out again. It's hitting me in the face here, but you can just tell the sun shifted direction and the temperature plummeted here. We're now down 20 degrees in the last 20 minutes because the sun didn't stop being out. Like, it's that quick around here. So we had to come through. I had to fix my bubble wrap that's on here and make some adjustments to the insulation that was around. Again, if you want to learn how I did that, I have videos on the entire setup and build out for the entire greenhouse. You can go check those out on my channel, Easy Going Growers. But we had to come in, just do some adjustments on the bubble wrap here to make sure it was up. Matter of fact, I'm going to do this real quick. Where'd that go? Where did you go? Sorry. Well, I'll find it after we're done here. A bit of my styrofoam went away there. That's where I got some cold air coming into. But anyways, so we went and did all that. We did our testing on our lights. We have our large light over here that we tested and installed. And again, this is ooh, yeah, it looks good. So this is a full spectrum LED light system that I got from Amazon. Again, this is it's 4 feet. 4 feet, it's good, but we did a test on this, got this hung, and we tested my smaller 1 foot lights that we have here, that we also put stuff down here as well too. Did our test here. Again, we always test all of our lights. We had to go through and just do a little bit of maintenance, kind of upkeep on some of our plants here to make sure that they're doing okay as they can. Yeah, and then that's really where we're at. And we just looked at a few other things here as far as setup. We're gonna have a lot more. You guys may have noticed I've got some corn up here. So we've got, this is where I dry my corn every year for the stuff I grow. Kind of show you guys, broke a little bit off here. The mice can't get to it up there. But you can see I've got some of my corn drying out right there, doing its thing. So I got chicken feed right there, so I just threw in the chickens will chomp on that. Okay, well anyways, thank you everybody who's been here today. I appreciate everybody who has liked, subscribed, notification bell, all the stuff. Thank you for all that, guys. I appreciate it, guys and gals. So with that, my name's Ryan. Again, best ways to support the channel are always going to be to subscribe and hit that like button. Share. Be sure to share the video with anybody you think might enjoy learning about working in the greenhouse, working in the garden, doing stuff around the house. Like yesterday, I was doing roof raking with the new my avalanche system to pull snow off of my roof. It's just I'm constantly coming live here. So again, folks, at that also again, you can go to the store. Link is in the description. You can get to pick up your merch here. We got the shirts, we got the hats as well. I'm working on getting a little bit more merch here, but I haven't had time to test it. I always like to test it first before I put it out there. So with that, take care, everybody. I appreciate y'all. And remember, we don't worry about stuff going on in here. End of the day, we can always replant. Take care. We'll see you guys.